Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. Day 2 of training camp is in the rearview mirror, and we had some fantastic things come out of today's practice. I got 3 great news items we're going to discuss today, starting off with the wide receiver core, and specifically Zay Flowers looked phenomenal. After that, we're going to talk a little bit of Aaron Rodgers and his Pittsburgh Steelers training camp debut. I promise you, you're going to want to stick around for that one. And then last up, Malachi Starks. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, he is the real deal. We're going to discuss exactly why on today's show. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you are subscribed because I'm going to badmouth Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I'm just going to do it. And right now, I want to badmouth the Steelers with this sub count during training camp. We're battling the Pittsburgh Steelers all training camp long. Currently, they had the lead on us, 67 subscribers added for Steelers Talk so far the last 2 days. 48 subs for the Ravens Rundown. I need that number to go up. I need you guys to help me out. Help me catch the Steelers. Only 19 subscribers behind. Let's get in first place and show them who are the real bosses of the AFC North. Day 2 is in the books. I mean, just look how awesome that picture is. Look at those 3 together. Derrick Henry, DeAndre Hopkins, Lamar Jackson. Did you ever think it could happen? I didn't, but I'm happy that it is. Speaking of DeAndre Hopkins, was not at practice today. We'll get into more of that a little bit later, but that doesn't mean that the wide receiver core was not amazing, and that is exactly where we are starting. Let's start more specifically with the wide receiver 1 on this roster, though. We're going to start by talking about Zay Flowers. If you remember yesterday, we mentioned this just briefly. Jeff Zreback tweeted out that he had to get off the field, turn an ankle. Limped off the field, came back a few plays later, made several good catches. He looked good. Well, he was back on the field today, and this is just from warm-ups. His injury seems to be 100% fine. Going through drills, it's about 5 yards and then a quick cut and in, and then 5 more yards, maybe 10 yards from one cone to the other, another quick coat, and then out to the right, he gets a pass. But you can just see the way that he's breaking down these routes, breaking down his body. I wish I could show you the full video of this because he looked phenomenal. He looked great. He looked fast. He looked like he accelerates just how he always has. And it's great to see that after what appeared to be a little bit scary, I mean, anytime a guy limps off the field day 1 of training camp, it is a little bit scary. It seems to me that after day 1, he is 100% fine. So that is fantastic news for your Baltimore Ravens, and you need him to be 100% up to speed, or up to health, I should say, especially in terms of his lower body, because he is one of the shiftiest players in the National Football League, okay? So we need his lower body, any part of his legs, ankles, quads, to be 100% healthy. His avoided tackles per receptions at .285, second best in the NFL. His avoided tackle per route is 0.43. That's third best in the National Football League. The way I'm going to summarize that, he makes dudes miss, okay? And what I've seen so far during camp, he's played a little bit more in the slot with DeAndre Hopkins, who, again, wasn't at camp today, but at camp on day 1 yesterday, had Zay Flowers playing a little bit more in the slot as DeAndre Hopkins was on the outside with Bateman on the outside on the other side of the field. And I like him in the slot, okay? I think just naturally, because he's a smaller guy, he kind of fits there a little bit better. But he is just, in general, a little bit better in the slot. His yards per route run, 2.10 when in the slot compared to 1.85 lined up on the outside. I just think he's a little bit more efficient. The style of ball that he plays, again, he's a little bit smaller of a guy, and he's one of those guys that if you get the ball to him quick, a lot of times he can make things happen with it. But it wasn't just Zay Flowers that had a great day today. How about Bateman, the wide receiver 2 on this roster? Cooked Nate Wiggins deep, and Lamar dropped a 60-yard dime just pretty. I'm really, really excited about this core of guys, okay? I think it is one of the best cores that this team has had in a very long time when you look at the top 3, but you also are getting great plays from guys who are second string this year. Like one guy called Devontae Walker. We'll go back to that tweet you were just at, Tex, before this one. Here it is. Devontae Walker today, a guy that everybody's been talking about pretty much for the entirety of the offseason. I've talked about him a lot. People are expecting a pretty big jump up for him from last year into this year. He beat Jair Alexander on a deep route in one-on-ones. Two matched up again. Alexander had a nice pass breakup. Neither Andrews or Alexander appeared pleased that the one-on-one session ended. Just as they were about to match up, they wanted to go at it. I love the fact that Devontae Walker is already going at it with some of these guys, especially a guy like Jair Alexander on this team. And you know what? Beating them on a route or two. Like, it's great to see that the guys that we will look at in this option, when you add in Derrick Henry, Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, all the wide receivers, it's like the 7th, 8th, or 9th option is doing phenomenal things in training camp. And I think Lamar Jackson realizes the embarrassment of riches that he has because he talked about his press conference yesterday. He said, I believe our offense has no limits because we have guys that can play any position. There's no roof. The ceiling is unlimited for our guys. I don't really want to give our offense away. You pretty much just put Zay on the spot, put me on the spot. We're going to keep it under the radar until teams see us. That was his response to being asked about Zay Flowers lining up a little bit more in the slot. Talking about the wide receiver core. Fill in the blank for me. This is the best Ravens wide receiver room since when? You let me know your answer in the comment section down below. Now the moment that we all have been waiting for, the part of this video that I am most excited about. It was a horrible start for Aaron Rodgers in terms of his Steelers training camp debut, okay? His first play from scrimmage, interception. You can see here, right? They are what looks like is zone. And once the play starts, you're going to see that it is zone. But the reason I can tell it is because you have Jalen Ramsey in the slot right here. Look at where his eyes are. They're not on the receiver that he's over. They're looking into the backfield. That's a little bit of a tell for when somebody's playing zone where exactly their eyes are. The play gets snapped. You see Aaron Rodgers in the backfield. And what I want you to notice about this is here is DK Metcalf. Right there. He's not even out of his break yet. And you can see Aaron Rodgers' eyes are already on Metcalf. He is predetermining where he's going to go with this football. And then he rears up, he throws it. You can see he's throwing it off of his back foot. Now, that's something that Aaron Rodgers has done pretty much for the entirety of his career. But the difference between Aaron Rodgers now and Aaron Rodgers when he excelled doing this 5-10 years ago is a lot. He doesn't have the same zip on the football that he used to. So he releases it off of his back foot, and you can see one Patrick Queen right there. There we go. Right there in front of DK Metcalf. He's this was just a horrible pass. Patrick Queen, you can go to the next photo text, ends up actually making the interception, making the play, picking off Aaron Rodgers, and it was a wonderful, wonderful sight to see. There was so much wrong with that play, okay? So much wrong. From him looking at DK Metcalf the second that the ball was snapped, to him throwing off his back foot, which he used to be able to get away with, but now he has less power behind his ball. Patrick Queen saw it the whole way. It obviously was zone coverage. You don't look at the receiver you're going to throw to for the entirety of the play when they're in zone coverage, because guess what? The defenders are looking at you. And then his second play from scrimmage, sack. It's awesome. It's awesome stuff, okay? And I don't want to overreact, okay? Because when Lamar makes a bad play, or when Lamar has a bad practice, I tell you all, hey, don't overreact about it. It's going to be okay. But it is very, very funny that this is how the Aaron Rodgers era is starting in Pittsburgh. I absolutely love it. Take a guess for me. What do you think the Steelers' record is going to be in 2025? Do you think they win over 500? Or do you think they finish over 500? They've been doing it for the last couple decades. You let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Last up in this triple dose of great news before we're going to wrap up pretty quickly with takeaways from today's camp. Malachi Starks seems like he's the real deal, okay? This team waited 0.0 seconds to turn his card in when the clock struck 27th pick on the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft because they knew he was the guy to fit this defense for the entirety of the pre-draft process. Jeff Zreback tweeting out today, Ravens first-round rookie Malachi Starks is having a nice day, broke every pass to Charlie Kolar, and then picked off a Lamar Jackson overthrow. already making plays on day 2. And when you look at the room, okay, this is a guy that has a big responsibility very early. He's the starting strong safety. He's going to have a big role in 2025. He was already going to, and then Ardarius Washington tore his Achilles, and that meant Malachi Starks' job and his job responsibility went up times 1,000. The good thing is that I've got all the confidence in the world that he's going to be able to handle it because he's showing so far day 2, hey, I'm already out here making plays. Don't go anywhere. Coming up, I got some quick takeaways from day 2. Those are my first 3 big ones. I'm going to give you 3 small ones, and then we'll get on our way. Before that, though, this is the best deal in the history of Fanatics on this show. You can get this purple hoodie for, what, $43 off? It was $70. Now it is $27. All you got to do is go to chatsports.com/purple hoodie to get yours today. And I know what you're saying to yourself. Joey, it's July. What do I need a hoodie for? That's a fair question, okay? I get you saying that. But guess what? Time marches on, just like the old Tracy Lawrence song suggests. That means in a couple of months, it's going to be October, then it's November, then it's December, then it's January and February. And guess what? January and February in Baltimore is pretty dang cold. So don't wait until then to get a hoodie. Especially right now when you can get one for $27. Chatsports.com/purple hoodie. That link's going to be in the comments and description of today's video. Takeaway number 1, DeAndre Hopkins was not practicing. I initially assumed it was just a vet day off. Like Von Miller didn't practice today for the Commanders. On day 2, he got a vet day off, and I kind of thought the same thing for DeAndre Hopkins. However, turned out to be a little bit more serious. DeAndre Hopkins was held out of practice day because of an abundance of caution after he landed uncomfortably on a catch attempt yesterday, per John Harbaugh. Ravens don't seem concerned. I think this is the right decision. It's the right call. He is old. They're just being cautious, okay? Apparently he didn't land well after catching a pass. They're being cautious about a knee injury. And this is just what happens when you're an older player, okay? You get a little bit more time off. I'm sure if this happened to Zay Flowers and it was the same thing, he'd probably be out there practicing today. Number 2, I think the Ravens may have found something with an undrafted free agent that we haven't really even talked much about. Brian Wacker tweeted out, Ravens undrafted free agent defensive back Ruben Lowry with another splash, picked off rush on a nice play over the middle. He had a very nice spring as well. This guy was all over the place when it came to rookie minicamp and even OTAs and mandatory minicamp, and he's all over the place in training camp. He's went to Chattanooga, 5'9", a little bit of a smaller player, 204 pounds, undrafted free agent after the 2025 NFL draft, and this team has a history of UDFAs making the roster. And so far, of all the undrafted free agents in training camp, Ruben Lowry is the name I'm hearing the most, so keep your eye out on him. Do you think he makes the final 53-man roster? If you do, give me a yes in the comment section down below. And if you don't, for whatever reason, go ahead and give me a no. My final takeaway from today, John Hoyland was perfect. If you don't know who he was, undrafted free agent kicker out of the University of Wyoming. Jeff Zreback tweeting, 9 for 9 with a long of 43. He only missed one kick yesterday, was 4 for 5, so that brings his total 13 of 14 for 2 days of training camp. Now, I will say they're not having them kick anything longer than like 45 yards. He hasn't made anything longer than 45 yards. His miss yesterday, I think, was at 40 yards. But still, I think it's great news. Now, Tyler Loop didn't kick today. I don't know why that is. I don't know if they just kind of are alternating days for those guys. I don't know if he's nursing an injury they're trying to be cautious about. I don't know, and I don't really care. Tyler Loop, John Hoyland, give me the best kicker available, okay? Because Justin Tucker was a little bit too inconsistent for my liking last year. He was a little bit too inconsistent for your liking as well. So I don't care if it's a guy you spent a draft pick on in Tyler Loop. I don't care if it's an undrafted free agent out of Wyoming with John Hoyland. Just give me the guy that I can have the most confidence in when it's late in the fourth quarter at the end of the season or in the playoffs. That'll do it for today's show. Thank you so much for being with us for the entirety of it. A little bit of a longer one today, but I had a lot of really fun things to talk about. Make sure you got me on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm all on Twitter over training camp, okay? Highlights, memes, anything you can want. You can find that at Joey Petersen 8. And you can find me at Joey Petersen 8 as well on Instagram. More than anything, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And hey, that'll do it for today's show. Appreciate you guys joining us. We'll see you next time.